How's it going, guys? It's Mr. Lo4f, and today I'm going to go and do. It's a little mission called Bridge Issues. It's just to fix a bridge that's near the garage. I ended up doing it for a couple of reasons in the end. I kind of did it at the end of messing around tonight, really, because I just got distracted in the sidetrack doing all sorts of other things. I did a different mission with this truck as well, and then at first I kind of thought, yeah, that was a bit of a quick mission, so I'll do another one. But then I got sidetracked with the P16, which I'll probably get into on a different video. Not even really doing anything, but so then I kind of already had this set up. That's why there's a yellow loaf kind of now suddenly sat near me. I don't know if it was there in like the first bit of the clip, but it is now. Yeah, and then I kind of realised when I was looking at the footage that the first mission I did, one, I lost a bit of footage from it. Not anything crazy, so it's like not even that bad, but yeah, I was just like, oh, I don't know if I want to do that. Skipping through some of the other things I've done, and yeah, again, this in theory was going to be what I would possibly have put on the end of the other mission I did. Yeah, someone asked the other day about can I use the step pipe, and I said yes, I can. By chance, I'd recently been driving it around. I can't even remember. I found it somewhere on the map. What the hell have I been doing with it? I can't even remember. I drove around somewhere on the map. Went and found it. Yeah, drove it back to the garage. Set it up. And, like I say, I actually did a different mission. It was one of the missions I did on the live stream. I got shoring up losses or something, maybe. Something like that. There's like a trailer with two lots of cargo in it, kind of in the river, over towards the right of the map, and then you have to just drag that out and deliver it. It ended up just by, I was using a mod, I think it was the Derry CX at that point. It's a very good mod, but the tyres in particular, for whatever reason, it was just taking loads of damage. So I ended up smashing the truck up quite a lot. So I kind of just wanted to go, like, as I was looking for a mission to do with this, I didn't want to get stuck into like a monster mission because I didn't really have enough time anyway, and that's on a good day. Let alone how much I keep getting sidetracked and messing around at the minute. So yeah, I kind of went for one that was not too bad, and then but I started messing around even on that one, and yeah. So for this, in the end, pretty simple. What I would sort of rather do in theory, I've come up to this garage to get one lot of concrete blocks, and then I also need two lots of metal beams, which there's a garage kind of on the way back. Again, this is like a very simple mission, really. I just do a bit of messing around at the end of this with a loaf, which was, yeah, one of the many things I've been up to yesterday and today. Yeah, I went and actually looked through all the other missions, and as far as I can tell, there's not anywhere else that I'll need concrete blocks. And I believe, because yesterday I went around again and like collecting the last few missions that I hadn't got, and then just, yeah, I get sidetracked and all sorts. But yeah, with like the wooden frame structures and a few other things, I sort of, once I kind of know what I'm doing on the map, especially if I can just craft some with doing it that way, like using the fuel from a generator essentially, I'd rather leave most of the cargo kind of in the warehouses around the map. There's no strictly objective, like, logical reason. It's just, I don't know, like, it's not even really this. I was going to say they could add missions in the future and all sorts. It's just to have the option still there, and then I can always get it done by crafting it. It's in a similar vein to kind of like saving all the good stuff in games, like I've said, that I end up never using, and I'm just hoarding everything at the end. It's sort of like that, but yeah, I looked through, and the other option was to drive to the warehouse in the bottom right, which was essentially most of the journey I'd done with the mission I'd done before this one in this truck. So at that point I didn't even want to like double back and do the same route or anything really. So yeah, and just a lack of time and messing around and all the rest of it, I thought I ended up almost like speed running it really. Yeah, just leaving the garage, flying up to the top of the map, which was all highway. And again, I wouldn't, strictly speaking, have sort of done a video with this truck. I'll use this truck again, even if I don't use the other footage from the where I lost a little bit. Yeah, I'll take this truck out again because it's one of the newer trucks we've had, and to be honest, I think like what was on phase 8, I remember using it a bit, but yeah, overall it was doing alright, so there's no reason I can't get it out again. That's what she said. And yeah, like I said, the actual mission itself, I mean, I'll be done in a minute. Technically, one of the shortest videos in a way. I probably should have edited it. I've certainly not like tried to make it go longer than 10 minutes or whatever. I just started messing around with the loaf afterwards, and then yeah, just thought I'd leave it in the video. Yeah, dropping that off, getting this built, and I still like cutting over the river and all the rest of it. So I didn't really care too much about getting this mission done, but just by chance, every time I turn the game on or I complete another mission, most of the time it keeps then recommending I do bridge issues. And it's just one of them where after a while I kind of get the mission done just so it stops recommending me the same mission. It'll only pick another one to recommend. It probably already has, in fact. Yeah, in like the top right. And I don't know, just because I built the bridge, but then for my own peace of mind-ish, yeah, I drove down the hill, started trying to cross the river. I believe this big fat chunk of ice had other plans. And the only thing I will say about this step pipe thing is it's got very small tyres. I believe they're 43-inch tyres. And I reckon it could fit some slightly bigger tyres on. Like, even say 46-inch tyres, they're still pretty small in the scheme of things compared to, like, most trucks are kind of high 40s, low 50s, really. Yeah, but I mean, if you look at the rear axles, there's enough room to squeeze a little bit more in. That's what she said, of course. And yeah, it's quite a big nerf in a way, because like I said, the way they sort of scale this game is in mind that, like, high 40s is still smaller tyres and then low 50s is bigger tyres. And yeah, this is sitting on kind of really low tyres. I'm surprised there's not like another option, basically. I can't remember if there's only 43-inch tyres to choose from, but yeah, it sort of feels like you've got the stock options, but then you can't actually upgrade it to something else. See, and then for some reason, I've never crossed this river, but I started driving down here. Lo4f, goddamn professional. I've said it before, just the last second, he dived off because he knows. And then, yeah, my truck carried on, like, got back to its wheels. Right now, that's where I think they've tampered with it a bit there, is like, the Lo4f would have fired up, just looking from the angle of the camera and all the rest of it. I reckon I could have just sat there for long enough and, like, he'd fire up, but at this point I was already kind of messing around. Now, I just drove into the river, and I mean, I'm panning the camera around a little bit now, but at some point I think I got up, made a coffee, fed the cat, all sorts of things, and I sort of forgot that I even drove this truck kind of into the river. I just sort of let it go floating along, hence why I've sped the footage up, and hence why, yeah, the camera isn't moving like the entire time. I was planning on just seeing if I could kind of diagonally float across the river. Obviously got back now and was like, oh, I'll float a bit further. I already knew, it said engine broken. It's like, right, get the goddamn horse. I think I edited some of it out. I was basically, it was quite handy in a way. When my step deck was there, I was able to click unpack the trailer, and it just, because the angle my truck was on, it was kind of launching the trailer over and tapping the Lo4f a bit. But then just, I drove the step deck forward and put a winch on it. Again, I've done it enough times that I'm pretty sure I could sit there and the Lo4f fire up, but yeah. And then now, I sort of, for 10-20 seconds, I kind of pan the camera around. I reckon I could cross that river with the Lo4f, even though it'll drown. I reckon I can float over and fire a winch to something or whatever. But there was something else I wanted to try, and I kind of figured I can go back there any time and cross the river with a Lo4f. That situation isn't that specific. I knew that was going to happen, by the way. As I was driving, I was like, I could see the rock, and I thought, sod it, I'm doing it anyway. Yeah, I probably should have let it go a bit longer and get it through the gap, which is probably what she said. But yeah, I wanted to do like a Spider-Man swing around the lamppost, but I knew a split second before I even fired the winch, like, oh, that rock is definitely gonna be like in the way of it. Yeah, so this is what I mean, sort of by accident or whatever. I floated the truck down the river. But I knew, I had a feeling, so I wanted to go and do it. I got me loaf, sent them in, see if I can rescue the step pike. Well, I say see if I can rescue the step pike, as if a goddamn professional of a vehicle hasn't got a 100% rescue record. Plus, even in a recent video, what did he save? Like, might have been a Derry and a Steve in one video. That's pretty high-end truck rescue, like weight-wise and all the rest of it. And earlier, I mean, I've not put it in this video, but he rescued a P16 a couple of times as well. And got it up a mountain, and then realised it was the wrong mountain and got it up another mountain. Yeah, so I was kind of... probably could have done a little bit of an edit there, but essentially, I got the truck kind of out of the water and all the rest of it. I realised at some point that it was pretty smashed up and damaged. Yeah, so just while it was near enough, I kind of, on principle, that it was now officially near enough that I could click repair, like, you know, I didn't have to reverse nearer to the truck. So, fixed it up. I kind of thought mainly the taller suspension might actually help, because just being collapsed is, like, a bit awkward getting over the rocks. I'll do a little edit here. All I did, I stopped here and then did a winch to it, but even before I did the winch, I kind of was saying to myself, it's a bit of a stupid angle to do it. It actually did pull the step pike out the water more, but just in general, to yeah, to get it done properly. I believe the fuel tank and the trailer was kind of snagging on the rocks, so... But I just, from the distance, it's one thing with a goddamn professional, and I noticed it with someone else I was doing earlier. His winch is longer than the truck's, so if I switched to the Pike, I couldn't reach this tree. But I parked the loaf behind it, and I just knew, had a gut feeling. And yeah, it was close, but he could reach the step Pike, yoinked it over the rocks, and then walked it back to the road. So yeah, there was no specific reason other than get yourself a loaf. It was just I built the bridge and then I went over the river to not use the bridge. Then I randomly decided to go over that river, messed it up, forgot, when I made a coffee, came back, realised the loaf can still rescue everything, and then got in the loaf and rescued everything. And then yeah, now there's just probably a little bit more messing around. I was just trying to get the truck over to the side of the road, so in some future video I don't come flying down that road and smash into the trailer, because that will happen. It has happened before. If I don't account for it, it will happen again. But yeah, I believe that's about it for today's one. Like I say, I've got a few other messing around things that I may put into a future video, or I'll just get on with some other missions, which I've actually got more missions left than I thought, so that's good as well. But yeah, anyway, that's about it for today. I hope you've enjoyed. I hope that helps. Thanks for watching. Get yourself a loaf, because as usual, he's a goddamn beast, and I'll be back soon.